So hello, everybody. Good evening. I'm really excited to get to know you. My name is Cindy Claes. Tonight, we have a workshop about crowdfunding and reinventing ourselves as artists. So yes, we will be talking about crowdfunding towards the end of the session, and you're going to know really which steps to take to crowdfund for a project you might have right now or in the future. We're also going to be talking about reinventing ourselves as artists and what the journey of being an artist is being made of. Now, tonight, whether we talk about crowdfunding, it doesn't really matter. The tools I'm going to give you are tools that are applicable to crowdfunding, but that will be applicable in other areas of your career as well. Okay, does that sound good? If it sounds good, give me a little high five, a little heart, a little clap, whatever in the chat box so that we can check that it's working. And I can see if I can see reactions here. Oh yeah, I see it there. Okay, all right, good. So people really know me as being an artist that worked internationally. They usually also know me for being a person that has crazily started her life over again from scratch. I packed my bags from Belgium and I moved to London. I always say I moved to London with a suitcase full of dreams. But then I did the same. I left London, left my friends behind, my network, and I started my life as an artist over again in Paris. I did the same, went to Barcelona, and I did the same again, went to Madrid. And I did the same again, and now I'm living in Brussels. So what people don't know about me is that when I was a 20-year-old hip-hop dancer, I had no clue what I wanted to do. Zero. I was a dancer with a passion. I felt in my guts and in my belly that dance is what I wanted to do. If people asked me, what is the goal, Cindy? I couldn't give an answer. I didn't know. I didn't know if I wanted to work for an artist. I didn't know. I just knew it was dance. So if you asked me, set your goals for the next 10 years, there was no way I could do it. I couldn't even set myself a goal for the next 3 months. If you feel the same, or if you have felt the same, please put me a yes in the chat box, or put your hearts up, put your hand 5 so that I know who's in the room right now. Yes, I see some hearts. So I am an artist like you that had a lot of doubts. I questioned why I was doing what I was doing. I questioned where I was going. I questioned if it was worth it. I questioned if it would work. I had existential life crises every weekend. I had existential life crises Monday to Friday. Give me a yes or heart up if you're feeling that. Don't hesitate to share. So, but these existential life crises, I would be lying if I told you that I don't have them now. And I have a 20-year career, behind me. I still have them today. And you know what? Here's the difference between my 20-year-old self and me today. I know that when I have an existential life crisis, it's my old self that I have outgrown that wants to be left behind.
Yes.
And it is my new future self that is knocking on the door and say, hey, yo, hurry up. I'm waiting for you. So when you have an existential life crisis, really take it as a treasure, because that is want to move you into motion to take the next steps. I embraced very often these existential crazy stuff that were being presented in front of me, and I said yes to it. I followed it. I trusted it. And it is because of that trust, because of those leaps of faith, that today I can say I was a 20-year-old hip hop dancer Further along the way, I became a choreographer. Further along the way, I became a physical theater practitioner. Further along the way, I set up leadership programs that were funded by the European Union. Further along the way, I became a playwright, a slam poetry artist, an actress. And today, who am I today? A screen actress? No. I am all the journey and more. I am all the journey and all what's ahead. I'm on all the journey and all what I'm choosing today and every single day in the future.
Yes.
So wherever you're at as an artist right now and whatever you're studying, you will never stay in that box because you're not here to stagnate. You are here to level up and expand. You don't even know what your leveling up is going to look like. Because what you're seeing right now is a tiny little, you're like sort of peeping through a little hole and you see little things. When I was a 20-year-old hip hop artist with 0 goals, I had no idea I would be traveling the world. I had no clue I would be living, in 4 different countries. But you're not here to stagnate. If there's one thing I want you to go away with today, it's with that sentence. Repeat it to yourself. I can't hear you behind the screens, but I want you to repeat it to yourself. So, you're not here to stagnate.
I'm not here to stagnate.
Woo!
Not here to stagnate.
Oh yeah, I'm hearing some echoes and I'm loving it.
Oh, is it water, is it energy?
I'm all of the journey and more.
Yes.
So we as artists, we are creative, right? We are creatives, whatever you're doing, whether you're an actor, an actress, a dancer, a choreographer, whether you're doing the lighting design of a piece, you are a creative person. This means that we are the people that are specialized in creating new visions, new approaches to look at life, new stuff, sculptures, paintings, shows. But this also means we are always creating something new inside. We can't be creating new things outside without creating new things inside as well. So this process of reinventing ourselves, it's a very powerful one. It's in our DNA. You will not be able to avoid it. Go with it, flow with it, and enjoy the ride. So before we're going to talk about crowdfunding, I'm going to tell you a very short little section of how I actually happened to do a crowdfunding campaign. I'm going to share a story, and I hope that you will recognize yourself in some parts of it. And I want to share you some life lessons, things that I learned about myself and about life in general while setting up this crowdfunding campaign. So I'm going to take you back to February 2018, 4 years ago. I was living in London. I had been living in London for 13 years. I was kind of settled, I had arts council fundings. I had all my professional network. I was teaching dance. I was choreographing here and there, performing here and there. Life was rolling. One of the things that I did a lot was teaching dance. I was a dance hall teacher. One of my students, her name is Hannah. I was teaching adult classes. She was a marketing specialist and she did a lot of things to do with computers. And one day she tells me, Cindy, I absolutely love what you're doing and I love our classes and I just want to help you. I want to just help you figure out some stuff with your website, your social media, and I'm going to do that for free.
I need to move.
So I think somebody has their mic on and talking. So Hannah wanted to help me and she wanted to do it for free. And I'm like, wow, I felt really grateful, that somebody wanted just to offer their help. So we go for a coffee, and she was like, Cindy, before we start, we need to know where we're going, and I really want to hear what your bigger vision is. Tell me all your dreams. Now, saying it, it's not like you in your head and being at home, and no, it's like somebody's asking you, tell me what your big dreams are. And Hannah is celebrating with me. I'm so excited. Like, we spoke all night. I'm painting her the bigger vision and what I really have in mind and the stuff I want to do, in the future and what I want to do more of. And I'm buzzing. Now, a lot of people tell me, or very often at least, when I have students, they are like, oh, Cindy, I don't want to tell my dreams to anybody. And I want to say, oh, you're missing out. You're missing out. You got to share your dreams with people. But you got to choose who you're going to share your dreams with. And here's the thing. There are people that say, yeah, but. Those people, you hear them in your ear saying, you're saying something, you have an idea, and they start with, yeah, but. The but is being followed by something you don't want to hear. Something that is going to crush your heart. Something that is going to make your soul crumble. I never, ever share my dreams with a yeah, butter. But when somebody tells me, yeah, and, yes, and tell me more. Yes, and what you're saying is awesome. And you could also do this. And with yes, and we growing. So yeah, but versus yes, and. Yeah, but is a red flag. Yes, and there is possibility. So now I've been telling you, okay, there are yeah, butters in the world and yes, enders. But then there's also us and our own mind. How many times do we say, yeah, but to our own dreams? How many times do we say, yeah, but when we want to start writing our next play? Yeah, but. You want to look out for the yeah, butters outside and inside. So Hannah is a yes ender. She nourished my soul. We had a conversation about my dreams. I'm getting excited. I'm going to sleep. She's going to be like my collaborator. We're going to do stuff together. The next morning, I wake up and I'm like, hold on a second. Last night, I spoke about my dreams. And none of them were related to teaching dance. None of them. Now, you need to know that I was good at teaching dance. And I can say it today because I'm not teaching dance anymore. So I can sort of, big up myself a little bit. I was a good dance teacher. I was a successful dance teacher. My classes were very often sold out. One of the things that I heard a lot along the way was, if you're good at something, that's the thing you should pursue. And I say no. It is not because you're good at something that it is your chosen path. It is not because you're good at something that it is your chosen path. It's not a big enough reason. I'm good at languages. I speak 4: French, Dutch, English, Spanish. Am I a translator? No. I speak 4 languages and it's great. I can go and teach and choreograph and, work with actors that speak those 4 different languages quite easily. But I'm not going to become a, professional translator. Same thing with your artistic career. Yes, you're good at this, but maybe it doesn't make you happy. Maybe that's not where you feel fully self-expressed. You're good at it, but maybe it's not your chosen path. Maybe this direction is your chosen path. And maybe you're not that good at it. Well, go and get good at it. Educate yourself, train, get better at this. But this is going to be a chosen path. Take that one. Give yourself the tools to be successful in this direction. And whatever you're good at will help you at some stage, along the path. Now, I loved teaching dance, but I always felt that teaching dance was part of the journey, but not the end of the journey. So as a dance teacher, I loved it till the last day, until the very last hour I was teaching dance. I loved it. I'm grateful about it. I shared joy with my students, but I didn't grow a bitter teacher that stayed in the business a bit too long, because I knew it was part of the journey, not the end of the journey. So I'm waking up the next morning, told all my dreams to Hannah. I woke up the next morning and I'm like, hold on a second. None of these dreams are related to teaching dance. And I was like, I've been teaching dance for a while. But right now, in my schedule, 80% of my time is to do with finding teaching jobs, marketing my dance classes, preparing my classes, communicating with my students, editing the videos of my dance classes so that I can put it on YouTube and have more students, and blah, blah, blah. And 20% of my time, 20% of my energy is going towards choreography, writing plays, doing my international stuff. So I was like, hold on. How are you going to achieve those big dreams if 80% of your time is going into teaching dance and that's not even part of the future vision? I'm retiring. So February 2018, on Tuesday night, I have a meeting with Hannah. On Wednesday morning, I call her and I'm saying, Hannah, I'm retiring. So I announced to all my students, in 3 months' time, I will stop teaching. I loved it and I still do, but in 3 months' time, a new chapter is starting. And I made a big thing out of it, a big thing. So people knew I was retiring from dance, but me, behind the scene, I still needed to find a solution because it was still also a very large part of my income stream. As an artist, you might teach a bit, choreograph a bit, playwright a bit, coach, you might do different things. Teaching was a bit part of my income stream. But I was like, in 3 months' time, I feel it in my soul. Something is going to happen. Something is going to change because I'm telling the universe that now there is space for something else. 3 months later, plan B didn't show up. So I'm starting to stress because I was living in London. Living in London is expensive. So what's going to happen? I'm reaching my deadline of retirement and I start to audition. I start to, to audition for different things. And I'm even telling myself, if worst come to worst, you take a little part-time admin job. You haven't done that for 13 years, it doesn't matter. Your ego is you're gonna have to just swallow it, and you're just gonna have a little part-time admin job. Why not? You're in transition. It's okay. Now, while I'm going through these auditions and those admin job, blah, 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 I'm having a prayer intention. I'm talking to myself. You can call it whatever you want. But I'm having some sort of mantra that says, whatever it is, whether I'm a dancer in this production or whether I need to have an admin job for the time being, just give me what is getting me closer to my higher purpose. It is not for me to decide if it's a little admin job or if it's being casted in a show. Just give me what is getting me closer to my higher purpose. I'm repeating this. I'm repeating this. I'm repeating this through the whole week, through the whole weekend. And on the Monday, where I was going to have answers, 1, I didn't get the casting, even though I went through to the last callbacks. 2, I didn't get any of the admin jobs. 3, and I have never, ever seen that in my whole career. All the gigs that I had lined up for the next few months were all canceled on that Monday. Different clients, different organizations, different projects. On that Monday, I received email after phone call, after text message, and it was canceled. I had nothing. I was living in London, making a big deal out of my retiring from teaching dance, left with nothing. I cried. I can tell you I cried. There was not one little drop of water left in my body. And then I was like, hold on a second. You've been asking for something. You wanted to get closer to your higher purpose? Let's look at the situation. Your diary is free. There is nothing scheduled in. What is holding you back in London? Nothing. You've done 13 years in London. You had an awesome life in London. And maybe the world is big and maybe another place is calling you. I followed that thought. I leave London, I move to Belgium. So we are in June 2018. I moved to Belgium. I haven't got a clue what I'm actually doing. I just know I am from here. I was born here. Hopefully there will be a sign somewhere. Then every year I used to go to a school called the Jacques Lecoq School. Do you know the Jacques Lecoq School? Yes? Don't hesitate to put me a no in the chat box if you don't know it. But it's a physical theater, really renowned physical theater school in Paris. And I really love the way they worked. And I used to go for workshops, you know, like a 1-week workshop, just for me, for my professional development. So July 2018, I'm going to Jacques Lecoq to do my 1-week workshop. But here's something happened. All of a sudden, I felt so nourished and inspired and excited about the way, you know, they worked and what I was learning in the space, that a little crazy thought started to emerge in my brain, in my thoughts, that said, how about you go back to school and study? Now, I'm 37 years old at that stage, okay? And I have a career behind me. So I'm like, whew, that sounds a bit too crazy. Cindy, you're too old, it's too expensive, it's too late. You don't even like Paris, are you nuts? Now, by the end of the week, I am shaking. There is a desire so strong that is talking to me that I cannot deny it. I am shaking inside. It is, my soul is telling me this school is for you. So I just like kind of tiptoed to the reception by the end of the week. And I'm like, you know, you know, the full-time student thing, like how much does it cost again? 7,500 euros. Yeah. And and there is, of course, yeah, it's completely full. There is no space for new students. I understand. Yes. And how do we register? Oh, it's on application form. Okay. Yes. And I shake more and more and I start crying. I cried of hunger to educate myself and nourish my creativity again. And so the receptionist tells me, look, it's possible to be in waiting list, but you got to talk to the teachers. And so the teacher, the head teacher as well, had seen me in action the whole week. So I'm going to see the head teacher and I'm crying and I'm like, I really want to do the school. I don't know. I feel it here. I don't know what's happening. But, and we have an hour conversation. The teacher takes me to reception and says, you see this lady here? You put her on waiting list. I'm on waiting list at the International School of Jacques Lecoq that is extremely competitive, where people apply like a year in advance. I'm excited. I'm happy. And I'm like, and so what? What does that mean? I'm on waiting list. On the 25th of July, 2018, I was on waiting list. With absolutely zero money in my bank account and not even knowing if I would even receive a place at the Jacques Lecoq School. Because of being on waiting list, what does that even mean? I go back to Brussels and I have some gigs. I am coaching choreographers in Belgium and I'm being casted out of the blue in a commercial in London. The only way for me to get those two jobs done is to take a night bus every night for a week. I didn't sleep in a bed, I slept in a bus. Monday, I'm coaching the choreographers in Belgium. I take the night bus to London. London, I have rehearsals for the commercial. I take the night bus back to the next day, rehearsing in Brussels, night bus back to London and Brussels and London and Brussels and London and Brussels and London. One of these days I arrive at 4 a.m. in London. There is not a coffee shop that's open. And I'm thinking of a Hindu temple. There's a Hindu temple near Tottenham Court Road. And I remember that it was open at 4 a.m. in the morning. So I was like, you know what, you only have rehearsals at 10. Go to the temple, go and meditate a bit, it will do you good. I go to the temple, I meditate. And again, you can call it whatever you want. A prayer, an intention, a talking to yourself, going a bit mad in your head, whatever you want to, talk it, whatever you feel comfortable with. But I'm saying, okay, I'm ready to make these sacrifices. But I didn't know that at this stage of my life and at this stage of my career that I would be taking a night bus every night. So if I could just have like one little sign of what's next, that would be nice. That afternoon, I received an email from Jacques Lecoq saying, we have a place for you. You're not on waiting list anymore, you're in. Now we are the 1st of August, 2018. Am I excited? Oh yeah. Do I have the money to pay for the school? Oh no. So here you got to go into, like solution solving, mode straight away. I can't find any scholarship. I can't find any fundings. And I look at what's possible. Crowdfunding. Now, if you think that I looked at crowdfunding and thought, yeah, let's crowdfund. Oh no. I was like, crowdfunding? Is that my solution? Am I about to tell the world, I need money, I ask for your help? Gloops. I felt vulnerable. I was about to tell the world, hi, I am vulnerable. I'm about to reinvent myself as an artist. I'm about to tell my students on social media, I'm still a student. I also want to learn more. I want to go back to school. I'm about to tell younger artists, I know I've been the mentor that you've been looking up to for a long time, and today I'm asking for your help. How many of you how many of us artists feel scared to ask for help? Put your hand up, put a heart in the chat box if you feel like, yeah, I can relate to that. Oh yeah, I see thumbs up. So I did this crowdfunding campaign, and this is what I learned, is that facing our fears is the most rewarding thing we'll ever do. Facing your fears is the most rewarding thing we'll ever do. But now, what were the fears? The fears were, who is Cindy? A more expansive version of Cindy. Will she succeed? Will she find her way? What is a version of Cindy that feels abundant? What is a version of Cindy that feels taken care of by her friends, her family, the universe? What is a version of Cindy that feels she's not let down by others, but that feels supported by others? What is a version of Cindy that feels at ease asking for help? It is all these fears that a crowdfunding campaign helped me overcome. But at the end of the day, even if it felt scary, can we agree that we got to be more committed to who we are becoming than who we once were? Can we all agree on that? Can I have a little hands up or heart or thumbs up? You are feeling me on that? Yes, yes. So this crowdfunding campaign was so much more than just like raising 7,500 euros for my school fee. It was healing my relationship with money. It was healing my relationship with others. It was learning to trust my environment. It was learning to be okay with being vulnerable. It helped me step into the shoes of leadership, courage, determination, and perseverance. So now I'm going to talk to you about how I did it. How did I raise 7,500 euros in 2.5 months alone? And while we are going through the steps, I want you to think about which fears, you could be overcoming now by listening to, all these steps. What your shoes as a leader and as the most courageous version of you looks like. Yes? Can we agree on that? Can I have the thumbs up and the yes, yes, and the hearts? Yes. Loving it. So let's dive into the know-how. But before we dive into this, as you can hear from my story, to do a crowdfunding campaign, it's a little bit different than asking for Arts Council fundings or that sort of things. I personally, from my personal experience, you want to choose a project that is really, really worthwhile. Why? Is because you don't want to put yourself in a situation where every 3 months you got to ask for money. If today you have a theater show, in 3 months' time you have another project, and in 6 months' time you have another project, and every 3 months you're asking money from people, it's gonna become difficult. So when you go for that adventure, choose one that is worthwhile, that, brings you to tears, that you're like, I can really, I am the fire behind this project, and it is gonna happen. Because you're going to have to put energy and time and effort in a crowdfunding campaign. All right. You do have that project. You do have that dream. The basics is you need to know what the project is, what you're going to do, who is part of the team, or are you alone, how much you need. You cannot just say, £5,000. No, you need to have some sort of budget. You need £5,000. Yeah, you need to know that. So I'm going to assume that you have sorted those basics, right? You know what you're going to do, who's going to benefit from the project, when it's going to happen, how much you need. So for me, it was paying for the Jacques Lecoq School. I needed 7,500 euros to pay for my school fee. And I also needed to have a start in Paris, find accommodation. And, you know, I needed some help around that. You do have the basics, you know what you need money for. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to choose a platform. There are many. There is Go Get Funding, there is GoFundMe, there is Kickstarter, Indiegogo. I'm sure you know more. Put it on Google, you will find a ton. But then the question is, which platform am I going to choose, right? Each platform is very specific. So the first thing you're going to look at when you choose a platform is, can you get all of the money? Some offer an all or nothing deal. If you need £5,000, you can only take the £5,000 if you reach a target. If you get 4,999, you lose everything, everybody gets refunded. Or you choose a platform where you can keep it anyway. Even if you've only raised 1,000, you would keep 1,000. Make sense? Now, how do you choose? Should I go for the all or nothing? Should I go for the keeping it anyway? How are people going to look at me? I would say, how can you make sure that you deliver something with integrity towards your audience and your donors? How can you deliver something with integrity? If you were crowdfunding for 10,000 to make a show and you only get 5,000, can you still make a show? Can you make a draft of a show? Can you do some R&D for the show? Can you do the first scene of the show? If it's done with integrity, go ahead. If you can't deliver with integrity, if the project can't happen, then refund people. Second thing, platforms take a percentage. It's between, I would say, 5 and 12%. Yeah. So when people donate £100, the platform will keep about £5 or £10. So it is not because a platform requests a small percentage that is better for you. Because some platforms might take a, some platforms just look ugly. They're not visually pleasing. And then you have to look for the donating button somewhere and you can't find it. I didn't choose that because I was like, oh no, I don't want my people to go on the page and look for 10 minutes where the donate button is. I'd rather pay a higher percentage and it's easy to find the button and it's visually pleasing. Also, some platforms might have a different percentage depending if you keep it all or if you keep it anyway, or you do the all or nothing deal, right? So choose what is best for you. But the platform takes a percentage. C, accessing funds. Some platforms don't allow you to access your funds until the very end. If I'm running a campaign from the 1st of January till the 31st of March, some platforms will say, well, you will have to wait the deadline. And the day of the deadline, you can make a request to access your funds. Other platforms allow you to take the money out of it as soon as you need it. For me, that was very important because I needed to pay a deposit for the school, and then I needed to make a second payment. For your project, maybe you need money to pay for the venue, to pay some artists, to pay for marketing, and you can't really wait until the deadline. So again, depending what your project is, but be aware that different platforms have different rules. Payment options and currencies. Some platforms are super, super cool. You can pay by credit card, bank card, by Bax, by PayPal, by Stripe, like everything is on there. Others is like the only way you can pay is with MasterCard. And here you have your donors trying to pay, but they have Visa and it doesn't work. Important. Currencies, super important. Some platforms only pay you out in dollars on an American bank account. You need to choose a platform that can pay you in pounds on a UK bank account. Yeah, important. Exposure and how you are perceived. I think a lot of you have already seen something on Kickstarter, like bags or shoes or bits of technology. Yeah. So Kickstarter is sort of perceived as an entrepreneurial platform. It's more for a business that is launching a product, right? And it's okay, you can be perceived as that, because who knows, maybe you're going to invent a machine that teaches you how to play the piano, you know, and there is an app incorporated in the machine with artificial intelligence, and you're going to sell this machine. I would say go for Kickstarter, because these are more, the way it works, it's more like they're doing pre-sales of the product, right? And they're hoping that a lot of people will buy it. Or they work with marketing agencies. You know, when you say a product that was on Kickstarter and that raised like millions, they actually worked with marketing agencies specialized in crowdfunding. And it basically allows them to get a product on the market. If you're going to work with a platform that is more like go get funding or something, you're going to probably be perceived more as a charity, a non-profit, a communities project, right? So depending how you want to be, I mean, you can put it on either platforms, but there is something to do with perception that might have an influence on the people that are going to donate. Investors might surf the net and look at Kickstarter campaigns to invest. Philanthropists might look more at, you know, things like go get funding. I personally had no philanthropists that jumped out of the blue to fund my campaign. I only had people that I knew from my social network, from Facebook, from Instagram, and so forth, but it can happen. Okay, you have a project, you know what you're doing, you know how much you need, you have found a platform, you've chosen it, you're going to set up your page. So what is going to go in a page? You're going to make a video. 2 minutes, a 2-minute video is awesome. Or between 1 and 3 minutes, something like that. And visuals, pictures, right? Whatever speaks to our mind visually, something that can paint the vision. A video is great because we can really see your energy, who you are, you know, like you explain what the vision is, why the project is important, and so forth. A video will also help you share it on social media. Same thing with visuals. Then you're going to make a short introduction. It's very short. It's like one small paragraph. And what are you fundraising for? Why is it important? Why should people donate? Yeah. I had actually a very difficult, well, no, I was successful, but initially I thought, wow, this is going to be really difficult for me to fundraise because it's not for a show that is going to impact the world. It's not for, you know, a project with kids or a project with, you know, with dancers. It's like me. So the way, you know, I really had to brainstorm around it. But for me, it was like, I was, you know, things that I sort of really pushed forward with my campaign was I'm doing research and development. It's more than studying. Because I'm at a stage of my career where I can take knowledge in a different way. It's really research and development. I also, as an artist, did a lot of empowerment projects and leadership projects. So for me, it was really about, if you empower me, I can empower, you know, people that I already empowered before, I can empower them even more. So investing in me is investing in a whole community of hip hop theater makers. I also push the fact that we need more female leadership in theater, in the arts. So, you know, like there was a lot of things that I put in that small little paragraph, right? But so a short introduction in a couple of sentences, you say why people should be giving you their money. Then you go into the details. Then you can write about it. You go ahead. You give all the details for the people that are like, oh, but what is she really going to do with my money? Yeah. And you want to give loads of details. What, how, who, when, where. Financial breakdown. You don't have to say, I'm going to put €2 in photocopies and €5 in buying water for the dancers. Okay. That's not needed. But give the blocks. I need 1,000 to pay 5 artists. I need 500 to pay for flights. I need 200 for costumes. Yeah, give the big number so people know what is actually going to happen with their donations. I had a thing on my page, which I think was quite cool, which is how to support me even if you broke. I realized when I was crowdfunding that a lot of people have a lot of stories around money. Guilt, shame, and a whole lot of stories. But when there was the how to support even if you broke, I started to build relationship, you know, and the guilt and the shame, you know, dissipated, or people didn't feel under pressure. So for example, I was like, okay, I'm going to Paris. If you can't support me with a donation, you can support me. Maybe you have a contact in Paris. Maybe you have a friend of a friend that can help me out with accommodation. If you're going to have an event, for example, a show, you can say, well, maybe you can't support me with a donation, but I'm looking for volunteers to come and help me out on the day of the event. Yeah. You want to have a thank you paragraph, and really the thank you is you want to celebrate people's generosity. You want to say thank you for giving you something energetically, and you're going to remind them your commitment. And then at the end, you can put your bio and more information. People will probably already know who you are anyway, but you can put that at the end if you want. Big important part of a crowdfunding campaign is offering rewards. So for example, if you give me £10, I give you a big hug. If you give me £20, I give a shout out on social media. If you give me 50, I give a shout out on, or give a big hug, a shout out on social media, plus a signed picture. If you give me 100, I give you a big hug, a shout out on social media, a signed picture, and something else. And you keep going. Yeah. Now, you can also pre-sale tickets for an event, you know, like it can be part of the reward. Yeah, a part of the reward can be, oh, then you already have your ticket booked for the show. But I want you to be very smart, okay, with these rewards. These rewards must be cost effective and absolutely not time consuming. They must be cost effective and absolutely not time consuming. I'll give you an example. If you're going to offer t-shirts, you just signed up to make your life hell. Because if you're going to say, well, hey, if you give me £20, I'll give you a t-shirt. You have to print the t-shirt and post the t-shirt. So not only are you left with zero money, you're also left with zero time. Okay. So I give you a few examples of stuff that I did. The shouts outs on social media. Now, this is a great way to talk about your campaign without saying, hi, give me money, credit cards out, let's go. Here, you can start talking about your campaign in a fun way on social media, saying, oh, here is my friend Jessica. She just gave, like, you know, made a donation. She's like awesome. She's an awesome singer. Check her out. This is her account. And thank you so much for donating and supporting the show or the project. Then other people see it and they're like, oh, Somebody's been donating. Oh, I know that person. Oh, that's another friend, another friend. Okay, I don't want to be the only one that didn't donate. And all of a sudden they donate. So a shout out on social media is a really cool one. What I did as well is ebooks and video tutorials. So I made a little ebook on and a little video tutorial for dancers to improve their freestyling skills. So that's easy. It takes me an hour to do it. And then I have like, you know, a password protected video, and I just have to email a PDF through to people that donate. So it's not time consuming and it's super cost effective. I also gave access to my, like nobody can see my full shows online, only trailers, but people that donated, they could then watch my full show online. Like previous shows that I did, you know? I also sent like an original script of some plays that I had written, you know, that sort of things. Something that one of my friends did, which I thought was awesome, he was a filmmaker and he got all his film equipment stolen. He was devastated. He couldn't even work anymore. It was a really nasty situation. So he did a crowdfunding campaign to get his video equipment back. And he organized a raffle. So every person that gave £20, at the end, he was like doing a raffle, and one person would get a full day photo shoot and video shoot for free. So I thought that was really smart as well, because it's like, okay, it's just one person, but you have loads of donors, and you know, like people are just like chipping in. So there are loads of ideas. Be creative with it. You still following? Because I know I'm throwing a lot at you. Awesome. Let's go to the next one. Timeline. The timeline, this is what's gonna happen. If you're going to do a crowdfunding campaign, you're going to get a lot of donations and then nothing for weeks. And then all of a sudden it goes up, nothing for weeks. And then just before the deadline, woo, it goes up. What is happening in a crowdfunding campaign? And like I said, it happens for loads of other projects we do as well. There is a time to raise awareness, and there is a time to make the hard ask. There's a time to talk about it in a fun way. There's a time to say, okay, I'm going to ask you to take your credit cards out. And from the bottom of my heart, I hope that you will feel the calling inside of you to come and, you know, support this amazing event, support this amazing project. So there is a time to ask, a time to raise awareness. I personally think that if you're going to raise, let's say, between £1,000 and £10,000, right? 3 months is a really good period of time. Because if you go longer than 3 months, it becomes to, you know, become a bit too much, starts to water down. But 3 months, it seems long, but actually it's not. I'll explain you why. I'm gonna hold on. Yeah, because in those 3 months' time, you're also gonna have cycles of payday, the payday cycles, right? So there will be and there are life events that are happening. Might be Christmas, it might be birthdays, it might be, oh, it's the month where we pay tax. This month the person doesn't have money, next month they will. 1st of January or the whole of January, everybody is broke. February, people have more money, but then it's St. Valentine's Day. So, you know, you might have less donations then, but then in March, you will have more. So 3 months gives you those life cycles. Let's talk about strategy and psychology. Here is a big one, guys. Write it down. People, when I did my crowdfunding campaign, people told me, I hope you will find that rich person that will support you. Guess what? I didn't meet the rich person, but I met a lot of generous dudes and dudettes. We don't need rich people We need generous people. So, like I said, in terms of strategy, right? How are you gonna sort of market it? The hey guys, I need money every day is not gonna work. Hey guys, I need money. Hey guys, I need money. It's not working. Bring them on a journey with you. I was talking about Jacques Lecoq, about the technique, videos of the school, what I was doing behind the scenes, how I was preparing my trip to Paris. You know, like I was talking about loads of stuff, plus the social media shout outs. So weeks of fun and awareness, weeks of bringing people on the journey with you. And then you ask, now who donates? Let's talk about the psychology of people. There are three types of people. There are the people that know you from a long time and they're like, yes, come on, let's go, let's do this. And boom, they do it straight away. Then there are the people, and I believe there are many of them. People are generous. People want to donate. People want to help. It's in our heart to wanting to help. But then there are either excuses, either oh, I'm too busy, either I will do it tomorrow, either I will, oh, the deadline is in 2 months. Okay, I got time, but disorganized. And then, you know, like they will do it, but you got their mind isn't there. Okay. And then there are people that are on the fence and they're like, are you talking to me? No, you're talking to rich people, aren't you? So some other people will take the responsibility of donating. It sounds awesome, but me? No, you're not talking to me. So they need a bit of time to warm up and then thinking, oh no, it is people like me she's talking about. Oh, my friends have been donating. I don't want to be the only one that didn't donate. Yeah. It's a bit, you know, when there is a new Apple product that comes out, you know, there are the people that are like lining up from the night before. So those are the yes people, we do it now straight away. And then there are other people like, I like iPhone, but you know, I'm getting paid next month, right? Or in 2 months time, or, you know, and then there are the people that are like, you know, when the headphones came out without the cordless headphones and people are like, nah, never. And then at the end, months later, they're like, no, hold on a second, I'm the only one without it now. No, I need it. Yeah, so you've got those three categories of people. Same thing for crowdfunding, same thing for your other projects. Same thing for when you put the show together, the same psychology. Sharing is caring. When you put together a crowdfunding campaign, try to have other people talk about it. Not just sharing the link. We know that doesn't, you know, nobody reacts to that. What I did, for example, is at the end of my campaign, I asked my really good friends to send me a selfie video and just tell me on video why they donated. And then I made a montage and I could post it, but people saw other people talk about my fund, you know, my crowdfunding campaign. If you have your dancers, your musicians, the kids you're going to be working with in the future, talk about camera, you know, on camera as well. Sharing is caring. We love to hear other people talk about it. Eventually, after 3 months, you arrive to the end of the campaign. You've been putting sweat and tears into it. You found a lot of creative content to talk about it. You want to make a big celebration about it. Not just for you. Whatever, you know, you reached the target, you didn't, it doesn't matter. You want to really celebrate the goodness of people. You want to celebrate people's generosity because they came with you on a journey and you want them to remain on the journey with you. And obviously you send your rewards. So I'm going to finish my talk with 3 things before we go into a Q&A. I threw myself in this crowdfunding campaign being very vulnerable. I felt scared and I learned so much. I have seen it over and over again in my career, but even more in this crowdfunding campaign, is that reality starts with a dream. Paint it, dream it, share it with yes-enders, infuse it with energy. Make it vibrate, you know, bring it to life. I've learned that an existential life crisis is only the old you that is shedding off. The future you that is knocking on the door and saying, waiting for you, whenever you want. But I'm starting to become a bit impatient. Remember that along your journey, because there will be many moments like these. And then last but not least, I told you we need generous people, not rich people, generous people. And I invite all of you, and I invite the world to just nurture generosity. Give money when people need money. Give a contact when people need a contact. Give a hand when people need a hand. Give a compliment when people, you can feel their soul needs a compliment to make another step forward. Give a hug. Just be a giver. I thank you very much. I'm going to give the mic again to Jessica so that we can go into those Q&As, and I'm really looking forward to read your questions.